Hello and welcome to our channel for yet another video. Today we have a special recipe for you guys. With February here and Valentine's Day right around the corner, today we're going to be making pink pupusas. These are the ingredients you're going to need. Today we're going to be making zucchini pupusas, so we're using shredded mozzarella and shredded zucchini. Now you can make them out of beans and cheese or a revuelta, which is beans, cheese, and chicharron, pork. I'll link that video up above if you want to go learn how to use those ingredients. So, other than the cheese and the zucchini, we're gonna need some salt, we're gonna need some olive oil, a little bit of milk, I'd say about a quarter cup. We have beets, and this is what's gonna give the pupusas that color. We're only using the water from the beets, so we'll do a little mixture here. We'll put the beets in, put water in here, and let the water grab the color, and we'll use that. And we're also using corn flour here. So I'm gonna get started making the masa, and we're gonna use the coloring on that. You'll see how that works out. All right, we're getting ready to make the masa. I have about 2 cups of corn flour here. I have 2 cups of beet water. Now the way you're gonna get this water and this color is you can get some cut beets here. Now it can be cooked, it can be frozen, it can be from a can. As long as you get cut and peeled beets, put them in a little container. Put some water in there, let it sit for about 30 minutes to an hour, and once you see the color of the water change to your desire, you're good to go. So you get the water out here and you put it, I put it in the microwave for about 1 minute. And the reason why we warm it up is when we're making pupusas, you don't want the pupusa to crack on the side and have all of your ingredients spill out when you're cooking it. So you need it to be warm now. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pour about half here and see how much I need. I may not need all of it. Let's see. Definitely gonna need more than this. And it's cool to see how the color changes here. You'll see some flour stays left over. You want to gather that up and make sure that gets in this mixture. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get what's on the bottom and bring it to the top. Flatten that out. And once you feel the masa here a little bit, sometimes you'll feel a little bit of it bunch up, get a little solid pieces in there. You make sure you crumble those up. Now we're going for a clay-like consistency. We want to be able to shape this later on once we're making our pupusas. So at this point, be sure I'm absorbing all of the liquid. It does get messy from time to time, so be prepared for that. Alright, now that I'm about done with the masa here, I can shape it around, put it into any shape I want. Basically, I can make it into a little ball, a little bowl if I want to, which is critical for what we're going to be doing later. But I'm going to let it sit for now. Let it get the consistency we want by just letting it sit. Now the next step is making our cheese and zucchini mixture. So we'll get started on that while we wait for this to finish up. Alright, we're going to be making our cheese zucchini mixture here. I have my salt, my shredded zucchini, my mozzarella, and I have a little bit of milk here. Now what we're going to be doing is squeezing the zucchini, and it's going to have basically a liquid coming out of it, and we'll try and dissolve this cheese into kind of a masa texture. However, if there's not enough water, then we'll put this milk in. So this is only a just in case. So I'm going to put this to the side for now, and I'm going to start adding salt to this cheese here. You don't want to add too much, just a little bit. And now I'm going to grab some zucchini. I'm going to squeeze it here. Now the reason why I'm squeezing it here and not just throwing it in and mixing it together is I don't want the zucchini to dissolve completely. If I toss it in there and start mixing it all together, the liquid of the zucchini is just going to make it dissolve while I'm mixing it together. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to turn this into that masa that I was telling you about. I'm just squeezing it together, grabbing as much as I can. Alright, now for the most part it looks like it's getting where I want it to be. However, it doesn't look like that liquid's going to be enough for all of it. I'll show you what it looks like here. You'll see some pieces that are still kind of solid. So I'll only add just a tiny bit of milk. And that should do it there. Now that we've got it like this, kind of that masa texture that I keep referencing to, I'm going to go ahead and toss in our zucchini. Push that to the side for now, and let's mix the two together. Right. So it looks like it's mixed well enough. That's what I'm looking at. It looks good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started by making those pupusas. We've had the masa sitting out for a little bit now. This cheese is good to go. So follow me to the stove and we'll get started. Alright, so we're going to get started making our pupusas. It's pretty much the same process as the rest of our videos. I'll link one up top just in case you want to see it. But we're going to start with our plastic bag here. This is the easiest method to do it if you're making your pupusa for the first time. What I'm doing here is I'm spreading a little bit of water on the counter and putting basically half of a plastic bag that I cut earlier and spreading it across here. The water is going to keep this plastic from moving. So when I make my pupusas on here, this plastic's not going to move around the whole countertop. We have here our masa, our cheese and zucchini mixture. We got our oil here, so we got olive oil, and a little bit of water here. Now I'm going to start with the masa. I'm going to grab a little ball here. I'll form it up. And just so that I don't rip anything apart, I'm gonna dip my fingers in some water right over here, which is why it's good to have a little bit of water in a bowl nearby. And while I'm doing this, I do want to let you know that we do have our griddle going on a medium heat. We have a 2-burner griddle, so that's heating up while we prepare this. So what I'm gonna do is stick my thumb in and essentially make a little bowl. And I'm using my right hand kind of to cradle it and make sure that it maintains its shape. You want to make this as deep as possible without ripping it. Again, this is a similar process to the rest of our pupusa videos. I'll link that above just so you can see it if you want to. Alright, so that's about as good as I'm going to get. I'm going to go ahead and grab some cheese over here, our cheese and zucchini mixture. I'm gonna stuff that in there. Could use a little bit more. Remember, this is the only ingredient we have here. So I'm gonna pack that tight. Now I'm gonna get this finger and I'm going to get some oil on it. I'll spread it on my hands here. And now I'll be sure to spread some oil across the masa while I am closing it off. So what I'm doing here is I'm spinning it with my thumb and holding it with my right hand, taking off the extra masa that I have while I close it off here, and that should be good to go. Now we're going to transition to the plastic bag. I'll put this here, and what we want to do is kind of softly pat it down. You want to be gentle during this process and go in a circular motion. Now you'll see what happened here. The masa kind of spread thin, and that's alright. You can add in a little bit more if you need to, just to cover it up. And that's a good reason as to why you need to put oil on your hands, just so you're not ripping up any unnecessary masa. But that should be good. What I'm going to do here is get the edge of the plastic bag, pull it, and put my hand on the pupusa here. Peel the plastic And now I'm just gonna walk over to the griddle and let that cook for a little bit. We'll come back when it's ready to flip. All right, we've had this sitting here for a little bit, and we can see that some of the cheese is coming back up now, a little bubbling a little bit. I'm gonna put the spatula under here, and it's pretty solid. It's pretty sturdy. It's not folding. So I'm gonna flip it, and you can see that it's been cooking for a little bit. I'm gonna let it sit on this side just for a few more, and we'll see where it's at. All right, we've left it there for a little bit, so I'm gonna, yeah, it's pretty solid under here. I'm gonna flip it. And don't be scared if you see that. Again, I've said this in my other videos. That's cheese, all right? The cheese has just been cooking up on this side. You haven't burnt your pupusa yet. I'm gonna let it sit on this side just for a few more seconds, and then we'll be good to pull it off. All right, we've left it for enough time. Just gonna flip it to make sure it's still good. It looks good to me. I'm gonna pull this off. We're gonna plate it here. And we should be good to go. We're gonna wait for these other guys to finish up over here, and we'll get back to you. All right, for what we're gonna do next is we're gonna make a heart-shaped pupusa. I have a heart-shaped cookie cutter here, and I already have my ball with all the ingredients in here. First thing I'm gonna do is get a little bit of oil in my hands, and I'm just gonna lather the ball with a little bit of oil, and whatever leftover oil I have in my hands, I'm going to spread that across the cookie cutter here. Just so that when we separate the masa from the cookie cutter, nothing stays behind. Now I'm going to get the ball, put it in here, and like we usually do on the plastic, I'm going to pat it down gently, filling the shape slowly. Alright, once you've filled the shape, you can go ahead and pull this out slowly, and you have yourself a heart-shaped pupusa there. Now, you may want to even it out. You'll see it's a bit thicker on a few sides. Try and pat it down gently. You don't want to ruin the shape. Alright, and once you're done, like we usually do, get one side of the plastic while your hand is here. And there you go. There's your heart-shaped pupusa. We're going to go ahead over to the griddle. Put her down. Alright, we finished cooking our pupusas. This is how our regular ones turned out. Look at that. Look at that nice color. It's pretty great. And look at these heart-shaped ones. They look pretty amazing. We got a few here. We're gonna chow down on them. Feel free to leave a comment down below letting us know how you did. Also, be sure to pair it with our curtido and salsa. Follow the links at the end of the video to see how to make these too. We hope you like this video. We hope you keep coming back to the channel. Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we're posting new videos. Thank you.